27th March 1917. Communication in dialogue received during meditation. Look, thou seest the living form and the three inanimate images. The living one is clad in violet. The other three are made of dust, but cleansed and purified. It is in the calm of silence that the living form can, by penetrating the other three, unite them in order to transform them into a living and acting vesture. O Lord, Thou knowest that I am surrendered to Thee, and that my being adheres with a peaceful and deep joy to all that Thou givest it. I know Thy adherence, but I would increase Thy consciousness, and for that awaken what still sleeps within Thee. Open Thy eyes to the light, and in the limpid mirror of the mind will be reflected what Thou shouldst know. Lord, all is silent within my being and waits. Knock at the door of consciousness, and the door will be opened to Thee. The river runs limpid and silvery. Its unbroken flow descends from the sky to the earth. But what dost Thou want to say to me that I must understand? Thy silence is not yet deep enough. Something stirs within Thy mind. The fire of the soul must be seen through the veils of the manifestation. But these veils must be clear and distinct, like words traced upon a luminous screen. And all this should be preserved in the purity of Thy heart, as the sown meadow is shrouded and protected under the snow. Now that Thou hast sown the seeds in the field and traced the signs on the screen, Thou mayest return to Thy calm silence. Thou mayest go back to Thy calm retreat to renew Thy strength in a deeper and truer consciousness. Thou canst forget Thy own person and find again the charm of the universal. May peace be upon Thee in these hours of repose, but do not forget the reveille which will sound soon. Thou wilt smile yet at Thy destiny, which speaks to Thee. Thy heart will use the returning strength. Thou shalt be the woodcutter who ties the bundle of firewood. Thou shalt be the great swan with outspread wings, which purifies the sight with its pearly whiteness and warms all hearts with its white down. Thou wilt lead them all to their supreme destiny. Thou hast seen the hearth and seen the child. One attracted the other. Both were happy. One because it burnt, the other because it was warm. Thou seest it in Thy heart, this triumphant hearth. Thou alone canst carry it without its being destructive. If others touched it, they would be consumed. Do not let them come too near it, The child should know that it must not touch the dazzling flame which attracts it so much. From far it warms it and illumines its heart. Too close, it would reduce it to ashes. One alone may dwell fearlessly within this heart, for he is the ray that has indeed kindled it. He is the salamander ever reborn in the fire. Another is above, unafraid of being burnt. It is the immaculate phoenix, the bird come from the sky who knows how to return to it. The first is the power of realization. The other is the light. And the third, the sovereign consciousness. O Lord, I listen to Thee and lie prostrate at Thy feet. Thou hast opened the door to me. Thou hast opened my eyes, and a little of the night has been illumined. 30th March 1917. First part, translation by Sri Aurobindo. There is a sovereign royalty in taking no thought for oneself. To have needs is to assert a weakness. To claim something proves that we lack what we claim. To desire is to be impotent. It is to recognize our limitations and confess our incapacity to overcome them. If only from the point of view of a legitimate pride, man should be noble enough to renounce desire. How humiliating to ask something for oneself from life or from the supreme consciousness which animates it. How humiliating for us, how ignorant an offense against her, for all is within our reach. Only the egoistic limits of our being prevent us from enjoying the whole universe as completely and concretely as we possess our own body and its immediate surroundings. Such too should be our attitude towards the means of action. O Thou, who dwellest in my heart and directest all by Thy supreme will, Thou hast told me a year ago to burn all my bridges and cast myself headlong into the unknown, as did Caesar when he crossed the Rubicon. It meant the capital for him, or the Tarpeian rock. Thou didst hide then from my eyes the result of the action. Now still thou keepest it secret, and yet thou knowest that my equanimity remains the same before greatness as before misery. Thou hast willed that for me the future should be uncertain, and that I should go forward with confidence without even knowing where the road would lead. Thou hast willed that I should put the care of my destiny utterly in Thy hands, and abdicate altogether all personal preoccupation. This means undoubtedly that my road must be virgin even to my own thought. 31st March 1917. Translation by Sri Aurobindo. Each time that a heart leaps at the touch of thy divine breath, a little more beauty seems to be born upon the earth. The air is embalmed with a sweet perfume. All becomes more friendly. How great is thy power, O Lord of all existences, that an atom of thy joy is sufficient to efface so much darkness, so many sorrows, and a single ray of thy glory can light up thus the dullest pebble, illumine the blackest consciousness. Thou hast heaped thy favors upon me. Thou hast unveiled to me many secrets. Thou hast made me taste many unexpected and unhoped for joys. But no grace of thine can be equal to this thou grantest to me, when a heart leaps at the touch of thy divine breath. At these blessed hours, all earth sings a hymn of gladness. The grasses shudder with pleasure. The air is vibrant with light. The trees lift towards heaven their most ardent prayer. The chant of the birds becomes a canticle. The waves of the sea billow with love. The smile of children tells of the infinite, and the souls of men appear in their eyes. Tell me, wilt thou grant me the marvelous power to give birth to this dawn in expectant hearts, to awaken the consciousness of men to thy sublime presence, and in this bare and sorrowful world awaken a little of thy true paradise? What happiness, what riches, what terrestrial powers can equal this wonderful gift? O Lord, never have I implored thee in vain, for that which speaks to thee is thyself in me. Drop by drop thou allowest to fall in a fertilizing rain the living and redeeming flame of thy almighty love. When these drops of eternal light descend softly on our world of obscure ignorance, one would say a rain upon earth of golden stars, one by one from a somber firmament. All kneels in mute devotion before this ever-renewed miracle.